In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
Woke is a word used by the black community to note we must be aware of social injustice.
But words
And
migrate.
why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was actually a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
At all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's ridiculous.
Maher didn't just say he disagreed with Sunny Hostin. He completely broke down everything she said with amazing accuracy. He went through her points and cut through the entire woke Hollywood crowd like a doctor performing surgery, but with a bold confidence of someone roasting at a comedy show. Maher gave a response so smooth and so powerful that it left everyone sitting there with their jaws dropped. The crazy part? These two people are actually supposed to be on the same team since they both usually support left-wing ideas. But Maher clearly stopped following the modern woke playbook a long time ago. And he made absolutely certain everyone watching knew it in the most memorable way possible.
In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Hostin thought she was being really smart, like she was playing a game of chess, when she suddenly called Maher a fake. She tried to make him look like someone who was attacking a group he was supposedly a part of, hoping it would trap him and hurt his reputation. But Maher wasn't tricked even for 1 second. He could see right through her plan as if it were completely see-through. And he had zero plans to fall into the woke crowd's favorite trick, twisting people's words around to trap them and make them seem like the bad guy.
Any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left? Watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas? That straightened me up pretty quick.
Bill Maher recently went on The View to talk about his new book. But what everyone thought would be a simple promotional visit quickly turned into a massive verbal battle. What viewers expected to be a nice, calm interview suddenly changed into a heated face-off, with Maher, a guy who normally leans left, shocking everyone by calling out his own side with fierce power. Nobody saw it coming, and the room suddenly felt like a cooking grill with a woke crowd getting burned. Everything started when Sunny Hostin tried to trap Maher in a corner, questioning him about why he was using the word woke like it was a bad thing. And that question started the whole explosion.
It struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustice.
But words
And
migrate.
so why is that a bad thing?
Hostin thought she was making a genius move, acting like she was playing strategic chess, when she suddenly called Maher a hypocrite out of nowhere. She tried to paint a picture of him as someone who was attacking a culture he supposedly belonged to, hoping her words would stick and corner him completely. But Maher wasn't fooled at all. He could see her strategy as easily as looking through a clear window. And he wasn't about to fall for the woke crowd's oldest trick in the book, twisting someone's words around to make them appear guilty and helpless.
Not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want, because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left?
Bill Maher's opening move was to brilliantly dodge Hostin's entire trap by explaining how words change over time, reminding her that a word can mean something totally different today than it did yesterday. He explained clearly that he wasn't using woke in the way it originally meant, but in the new way that the extreme left created, a version shaped by their own choices and behaviors. Hostin probably expected to see Maher fall apart under her accusation of being a hypocrite. But instead, she walked straight into his response without even realizing it. Maher turned everything around effortlessly, making Hostin experience the exact trap she tried to set for him, leaving her argument shaking in front of the whole audience.
But Don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay? That was a joke. But,
Too dark. Too dark.
well, maybe it is. But it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Did you see that incredible moment? Here was Bill Maher, someone who has supported left-wing ideas for years, admitting that he immediately changed his mind the second he saw the woke crowd openly supporting the terrorist organization Hamas. Yes, Hamas. The exact same group that's known for openly saying that Israel shouldn't exist and should be wiped out entirely. Scary, right? But it gets even more disturbing because their beliefs have led to repeated attacks targeting Jewish people both in that area and all around the world. And yet somehow we're now watching people who call themselves woke defenders blaming Israelis just for being alive while supporting Hamas and its terrible goals. Even with all his liberal beliefs, Maher was just as shocked by this insanity as everyone else watching. And he didn't try to hide his feelings for even 1 second.
It's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values.
It's just incredible to me that they can't figure out who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you something. If you're supporting Hamas, just try living in Gaza for 1 day. And I'm not even talking about during the war. I mean, before the war started. Trust me, you would run away screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv instead, a city that actually shares your values. Maher nailed it perfectly when he explained that most of the women on The View, including Hostin, would pick living in Israel way before they'd ever consider living in Palestine. He pointed out that Israel's values match up way more with the freedoms that Americans are used to having, especially women's rights and basic personal freedom. In reality, none of these woke voices would survive even 1 minute under Palestine's tough rules. Maher didn't hold anything back, showing everyone the huge double standards of the woke crowd. They yell against Israel loudly, but would never choose to live under the strict rules they keep defending. The fakeness was impossible to miss, and the woke crowd immediately looked uncomfortable.
I mean, women have no, I mean, it's a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ group. Yes.
You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens at best.
Maher dropped another powerful hit when he talked about the huge gap in women's rights across many Muslim-majority countries, the exact same places that woke voices keep defending. In a calm but cutting way, he was basically telling Hostin and people like her to actually visit those countries and see for themselves how women are treated. This wasn't just a simple comment. It was a crushing blow that left the panel struggling to respond. Trying to take back control, they quickly switched to the innocent people argument, hoping it would trap Maher and put the pressure back on him. But Maher doesn't fall apart from emotional tricks easily. And if they thought he would mess up, they were about to learn a tough lesson.
Are you at all concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women? And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Hostin figured out that Maher had totally destroyed her earlier point, the one where she questioned why a real left-wing thinker like him wouldn't support today's woke culture. So she tried to change the topic by making him look like someone who supports hurting innocent people, hoping this moral attack would trap him. Her question came right after Maher gave a sharp, smart answer, and it was clearly designed to attack his character instead of his ideas. This is a typical woke move. When their arguments fall apart, They quickly start questioning someone's morals instead of defending their logic. But Maher was completely ready for it, and he shot back another powerful response that crushed Hostin's approach and showed the weakness in her whole strategy.
Well, that's ridiculous, but it's a war.
Why?
It's a war. Because it's a war, and they were attacked, and they're defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to be...
Do you think Hamas needs to be destroyed? Hostin quickly realized that Maher had just completely burned down her earlier argument. With her position falling to pieces, she made one last desperate attempt by trying to make him look like someone who supports violence against innocent civilians, hoping this emotional accusation would corner him. This is the classic pattern from the woke playbook. When solid arguments break down, they rush toward acting morally superior to make the other person seem cruel, instead of dealing with the facts. But Maher saw her attempt coming way before she even finished asking the question, and he responded with a calm but devastating reply that completely shattered Hostin's strategy and exposed how weak the entire tactic was.
Is the question.
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
So how
Okay,
can
well,
you
I-
out with a ceasefire?
All right, so Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means, okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the advisedly... Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
And there it was, a truth bomb dropped with Maher's signature calm precision, hitting the panel like a shockwave. Notice how the entire audience exploded into applause, except for Hostin, who sat frozen in her chair, clearly feeling embarrassed, as if a spotlight had suddenly focused only on her. She looked totally stunned, completely unable to hide how much the moment shook her. Maher had torn down the entire woke mindset so completely that even the hosts, the other panelists, and the normally left-leaning studio audience couldn't help but cheer for his clarity and boldness. Maher understands the woke playbook better than anyone else. But he still wasn't finished, because when Whoopi asked whether the media twists the news to push an agenda, Maher's answer became one of the most powerful moments of the entire segment.
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
And it's narrative over truth. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it.
Yeah.
And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other.
Once again, Maher dove straight into the center of the woke agenda, calling it what he believed it really was, a carefully designed version of truth created to control what people believe. For many ultra-left voices, actual truth almost never sits at the top of their priorities because their real goal is forcing their story onto everyone with no room for disagreement. Facts get twisted around, context gets thrown out, and anyone who challenges them ends up canceled or pushed away. That's exactly why Maher refuses to join the woke movement. He sees it as a space full of hidden agendas. His honest words sent waves through the studio, earning him surprising nods from people who usually sit on the opposite political side. And did you catch Hostin's face during that moment? She looked shocked, almost like she couldn't wait for the segment to be over. Yet she still tried one final desperate move, accusing Maher of abandoning his so-called liberal woke roots. But once again, Maher had the perfect response ready.
There's old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives. There's still some of those
You've
left.
changed, though.
Wait, what are the other two? Go ahead.
Well,
what are the other two?
well, that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think
Yeah.
I have. And, you know, we were saying in the break, we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest. This is a word that's triggering. But, I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago.
Maher was making it totally clear that he sees himself as an old-school liberal, someone who believes in real social justice, but refuses to encourage people to stay stuck in situations that harm them. He explained that his views are nothing like those of the modern woke crowd, who often think people should remain in their problems while everyone else pretends everything is okay. To prove his point, Maher used a powerful example. He said an old-school liberal would focus on helping homeless men get off the streets and into safe shelters where they could rebuild their lives. Meanwhile, the woke movement would rather leave those men sitting on the sidewalk, demanding that society must simply accept the discomfort and never question it. Anyone who dares to speak up or ask for actual solutions ends up getting labeled and pushed aside.
Homeless was a term that I thought we kind of came up with because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos.
Yeah, now that's
homeless. Now, no.
It's unhoused.
Well, it's
now.
people
Unhoused.
experiencing
Now it's
homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, the liberal view of that was for compassion's sake. We're the liberals. We're compassion. Let's get these people off the street. That's not the view of the, whatever word we're going to come up with. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat, living their best life under a bridge.
Maher's bravery, sharp humor, and cutting sarcasm during the show were absolutely incredible. Everyone who watched had something to say about how powerfully he fought back against the woke crowd. Viewers praised him for putting the movement in its place with calm confidence. One fan even wrote, "I've never seen anyone destroy the liberal woke story so smoothly while leaving the View panel shocked and speechless." Others joined Maher in calling out the fakeness they saw. Like the person who commented, "Unbelievable what fakes these women are," pointing out how weird it is for them to accuse the media of not showing both sides when most media already leans their way. People also criticized Sunny Hostin for her tricks, saying she needs to stop putting words in people's mouths. Maher's visit wasn't a friendly chat. It was a complete masterclass in exposing woke contradictions. From the moment Hostin tried to corner him, he handled her with skill and precision. And Maher didn't stop there, later calling out presidents he believes support extreme left groups, even taking a bold shot at President Biden's age and his ability to lead effectively.
Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
That kind of criticism would hurt anyone deeply. Being called incompetent and unfit to run the most powerful country on earth is rough enough. But being compared to someone lifeless while still being alive takes the insult to a completely different level. It also connects directly to the widely talked about idea that Biden might not be the one really in charge, and that he's more of a symbolic figurehead while other people control things from behind the curtain. Maher's appearance on The View wasn't just uncomfortable for the woke crowd. It was a full-blown headache that kept getting worse with every sharp comment. His razor-sharp remarks and non-stop clarity left Sunny Hostin looking like she wanted to sink into the floor and vanish, especially after his final truth bomb turned her arguments into dust. By the end, the woke story she tried to defend was in pieces, scattered beyond fixing, and they never really stood a chance against his steady confidence. The entire segment ended with a dramatic punch, reminding viewers just how powerful Maher's takedowns can be, and why his presence shakes up every room he enters.